Kim says, no disrespect, but not a hat backward guy. No, here's the thing. I don't know if I think I can pull it off. What's the vote in the room?
I mean, you can make it work.
I'm making it work. It's fine. I just want you to be able to see my face, and if I take my hat off, I'll have hat hair now. So once you make the hat decision, it has to stay. So there we go. I don't want the shadow in my face.
You're making it work like Garth Brooks made his rock album work.
Well, yeah, Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's not really a great compliment. So, or a compliment at all.
In fact, I don't think
that may actually be a bit of an insult, to be quite honest with you.
For those of you who haven't ever seen that, I know we got some children of the '90s and stuff in our chat, but if you've never seen that album cover, oh my God.
You know, it was great. It happened when I was in high school when it came out. And like a friend of mine, super Garth Brooks fan, was like the first one at the Sam Goodies to get it that day. I don't know if you remember those times.
No.
But yeah, where you'd have to like physically walk into a record store and buy a CD.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, I mean, socializing with other humans is
gross.
Yeah. So he went and got it, and then he listened to it on the way to school the next day. Well, finished listening to it, and we're like, so how is he? He's like, it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It's not Garth Brooks. Yeah, well, it's Chris Gaines. He's like, no, it is no. Here's the thing. I went to see Garth Brooks in concert. It's one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. At no point, there's a point during the show, which is really amazing, where he just, people start yelling up songs, deep album cuts, too, that he hasn't played, and he'll play them. No one. I was at AT&T Stadium. No one shouted out a Chris Gaines song.
That would have been hilarious.
Not even one, because when you go to concerts, you're going to come across the super, super, super fan.
Yeah.
And not even that guy. I was on a plane one time from Albuquerque to Toledo.
Wow.
Yeah. And Robin Zander from Cheap Trick was on the flight.
Okay.
And there was a guy that was waiting with me on the same flight from Albuquerque to Toledo that told me all these things about Robin Zander. And I was like, I like Cheap Trick, but I don't need to know all this stuff. That guy, for the Garth Brooks equivalent of that,
right,
would not have even shouted out Chris Gaines.
I just want to just go to the concert and just hold up a big sign that says "Play Lost in You."
Did you just look that up?
Yes. I didn't know a Chris Gaines song. What are you, high? I've never known that.
Look, with this look, you could say this guy's high.
Yeah.
Honestly. Actually. Look at me right now. Backwards hat, Hawaiian shirt, jeans. There's a good chance that I've eaten a weed brownie.
Yeah.
With this look.
Well, you look like a guy that still calls it grass.
Yeah. Yeah, ass, cash, or grass. Yeah. Nobody rides for free. Yeah, that kind of a thing.
You guys smoking a doobie?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is Tony. He's my reefer salesman.
Okay, thanks, Grandpa. I'm going to go inside.
Yeah, good luck with your glaucoma. So, Royden, we talked about this on the show yesterday, and we talked about it on 365 Sports, but I'm curious in your opinion. Big 12 parity is a great, we've been living in it for the last few years. It's made the conference very enjoyable. The SEC, I don't think they're dealing with it well.
Their fans aren't.
Yeah, they're not dealing with it well, and they're trying to say, well, our parity is different than your parity. Yeah, the SEC is a better league. We know the SEC is a better league, but I think we're realizing that that is not you're not going up. To me, you're not going up from the house ribeye 10-ounce cut to the bone-in $100. Like, you're not going from a $50 steak to a $200 steak.
Right.
You're going from a $50 steak to like an $80 steak. It's still a really good steak, but it's not like special occasion. You know, we just got the Johnson & Johnson account kind of steak. It's not that. And that's, I think, what they're fighting against when it comes to their parity is like, no. We're still the steak of all the steaks. And you're like, yeah, you're still a really good steak, but, you know, you're not that much better than all the rest of them. And I don't think they're dealing with it well.
I think they've been told for a long time, at least their fans have been told, and their media machine has done a really good job of getting it out there that they're special little boys. And they're special little boys that need special little treatment. And they've never done anything wrong. And in fact, it's everyone else that is wrong, and you're a special little boy. And I think that they have been told that for a long time. So when they turned, 30 and they're a drunk and failing in their job, and they come to the realization that there may no longer be a special little boy, that that realization in reality is tough. And hey, man, life comes for us all, doesn't it? I just think, look, I'm going on and on. I think there is a little bit of like a little woe is me going on from them. Oh, man, we might not get 5 teams in this 12-team playoff. We were told we would get 5 teams. What happened to the thing that you promised me? It's like promising a kid that you were going to go to Six Flags. And instead, we're going to the fair that's in a parking lot right down the street at like Waco Convention, or the Waco Civic Center or whatever. And it's still going to be a good time. You're still going to have fun with your friends, but you might not get to go on the Superman ride. I think the idea that one parody is better than the other parody is laughable because you're all beating each other up. You know what I mean? They're just going to get the benefit of the doubt because, like we've said a million times, they are the SEC. Yes, they are the better conference, I think, top to bottom, than the Big 12 or the Big 10, so on and so forth. They have the most talent. That is just how it works. Anecdotally, they have the most players and talented players on their rosters. That just is the way that it works. Now, but saying that because you get to beat up on the bottom of the SEC, which is also bad, that, but we also played another SEC team, but they're like 2-8. Like, who cares? I'm going on and on. They do have like technically a better parity, I think, than the Big 12 because the Big 12 has 9, I think, bowl eligible teams currently, if I'm looking at it. And I think probably the SEC has 11. I'd have to actually look at the standings here, and I don't want to like do fast math on the show, but only 3 SEC teams right now are not bowl eligible. And if I go and
that's great.
I go and I look at the Big 12.
No, there's more than 3.
Yeah, look, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Big 12 teams aren't bowl eligible. Yeah. So look, that's technically better parity if you want to get down to it. But like not handling it and crying, it's not crying poor, but like crying about it online and saying, well, we deserve this much because we're still beating up on each other. It's like, do losses not count the same anymore? I guess they never did. If we go back and we look at previous iterations of this playoff, but we got to get back to a play, like, make losses great again. You know what I'm saying? And
like you got to make them
mean something.
The thing they have to mean, like, and a lot of this is like maybe Alabama driven, where they can sneak their way in.
Exactly,
and I don't know. Like, the more I think about it, I don't think they're going to get in. I think they're done. I think they're cooked. But there is a scenario, though, especially when it comes to the Big 12, where the Big 12 just completely eats its own tail and
it's destroyed itself on accident. Yeah. But it's fun.
Yeah,
I think that the byproduct of it being really fun is that, oh no, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
And it makes for a good, I think it's one of the best football products in the country. And I think a lot of people would tend to agree if they looked at it objectively. But if you want to look at this thing of the whole thing is about making the playoff and conference supremacy and finding our own place in this brave new world, then you kind of did yourself a disservice because like now these teams are just cannibalizing each other. Mm-hmm. And it's happening a little bit in the SEC now, and they just weren't prepared for it. Mm-hmm. And I think the Big 12 has kind of pivoted and been like, isn't this great? You know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That we're all killing each other over in this conference, and we don't know who's actually going to be in the conference finals, and there's 250 scenarios that could possibly shake out here. Isn't this great?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Big 12 has done a pretty good job, I think, of like buoying themselves and keeping themselves afloat regardless of the snake eating its own tail a little bit. Whereas the SEC is, again, crying poor that they're not going to get, 4 or 5 teams in this thing because what should have happened if you are the deepest conference in the league, teams beating each other. That means you're the deepest conference in the league. To me.
Yeah.
If you're all beating, like, wouldn't that show the depth of what your conference is, technically? Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you, Royden. So it's weird. Do you have what is your take on who will be the Big 12 champ with now this week and next week with the championship game? If everything goes chalk,
yeah,
Arizona State, Iowa State.
Yeah, I think that's how it shakes out. Like if everybody just like are supposed to win, the favorites who are supposed to win. I think that's how it shakes out. I mean, Kenny Dillingham is a madman. He has those guys playing with their hair on fire. I don't think anybody can stop Cam Scatabo, it looks like. But Iowa State's defense is really good. Rocco Beck is playing fine. It would be the first time that, well, if they win this week, it would be the first time ever that Iowa State has ever won 10 games in their history. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then they would have a chance to continue the best season that they've ever had. There's some fairy dust around Arizona State.
Arizona State's playing the best right now of everybody in the Big 12. Well, everybody in the Big 12 who's eligible for the championship game. The team that's playing the best in the Big 12 now is Kansas.
Yeah.
And the team that's playing the second best in the Big 12 right now is Baylor. And they're playing this week. Now, Baylor still
pooped the bed early in the season.
Baylor still has a shot, like
it's
a
like
very
a nightmare scenario
like
for the rest of the.
It's what Brett Yormark calls the apocalypse scenario. Yeah. Like that's the one.
I mean, genuinely, it's like BYU has to win, and then like 3 or 4 other teams have to lose.
Yes.
Favorites have to lose.
Yeah.
And then Baylor could somehow sneak into that.
Yeah, Colorado would have to lose to Oklahoma State, which I cannot fathom happening, but, stranger things have happened. That means that Arizona State would have to lose. And here's that thing. One of those losses is to Utah. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Baylor lost to one of the worst teams in the Big 12.
Doesn't matter.
They weren't, but it doesn't count as a Big 12 because it's a non-con game.
Yeah. I did blue sky out that if Baylor somehow sneaks into the Big 12 championship game, I'll get a radioactive bear tattoo. Now this is on here, so I actually probably have to follow that up. I don't know why I just said that.
Well, do you have any tattoos?
No.
Have you ever wanted a tattoo?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Garrett has tattoos. Emery, you have a tattoo? No. Emery, do you want a tattoo?
I almost got one.
Okay. You two, like Garrett's a different animal.
I want more.
Yeah. One day I'm not gonna see him for like 10 years, and then I'm gonna come back and he's gonna look like Post Malone.
Yeah.
No, neck down, I'm good. No, neck up.
Yeah, get it on your face. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Far be it for me to criticize. What I'm just saying.
Yeah, like listen, you said like, I'll get a face tattoo, and
yeah, just I
can, the first local sports guy with a teardrop tattoo.
What did he do? Don't worry about it.
No. Don't worry. Listen, we'll just say that weather guy wasn't always the weather guy.
Yeah.
and
Coach looked at him sideways one time.
There's a couple of reporters that just aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
They went to Denver. Yeah. But no, I've never wanted one.
Yeah.
I don't like. Here's my problem with a tattoo. I grew up in a family that was totally against them. One.
Same, yeah.
But I'm not against them. Like, I'm fine. I just don't think there's anything. My wife has a couple. You know, like I don't. There's nothing that I could want on my body forever.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's where like I could not commit to anything forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just nothing I would be like, yep. And when people get stuff of, like celebrities or certain things, I'm like, you do know that like all flames burn out, right? And then you're going to have to be like, like REM was a great band, but is a tattoo necessary? Like, you could have bought a t-shirt.
Who was it? I think it was Travis Fimmel. I was watching an interview with him. He's from Vikings and a bunch of other shows, but like he said that people have tattoos of him as like Ragnar.
Yeah.
And he said very candidly, he's like, why did you do that? What if I turned out to be a murderer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you just have my face on your body for the rest of your life. That stuff is kind of, a bridge too far. But,
Now, look, if I was
a Baylor radioactive green and gold bear.
No, okay.
I don't know.
All right. Now, look, if I was like Samoan or something, I mean, if I could pull that off, I mean, I would like, that's what like one I really kind of, I vibe with because it's like Italians, we don't have cultural like tattoo significance. Italians with tattoos are just guys trying to show off. Yeah. That's it.
Well, with your shirt, you could pull it off right now.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I was Samoan or Hawaiian or whatever, and I had some sort of like poserish race that I could go and get a tribal tattoo, then I would do that. That I think is cool, but if I went and got a tribal tattoo right now, it would be the douchiest thing.
Yeah, you ever seen a dude that's not Samoan or Hawaii or Pacific
Islander
that has it? Yeah, and you're just like,
I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Oh yeah, where are you from? Tallahassee. What?
Yeah, no, I like. Believe me, I have I opened for Daniel Tosh in like 2002, like a long time ago, and he had a bit that I thought was really great. He's also like, he's how I am with tattoos. Like, he's that way. And he's like, do you think that like Chinese kids go into their like tattoo parlors and get English words written on their arm? No.
It means love and faith.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Like, I think that's the joke. Like, or it means strength and water.
Yeah.
Like no, they don't. It's dumb.
The funniest follow-up to that, he's like, I hate tattoos. That being said, I have a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah. I hate to put that out there on the internet because now people are going to hold me accountable, and I really don't like being held accountable for my tweets.
Here's the deal: a lot has to happen, Roy, and I wouldn't lose any sleep.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
I've tweeted it out. Like, if Baylor comes back in this football game, I'll get a sailor bear tattoo or something like that.
Yeah.
They come back down like 20 points, and I'm like, oh no.
That one's not a bad one to have, though.
No, I have some friends with that one.
Yeah. There's no tattoo of Florida State that I could get. Like, maybe I could get like the spear, but even then I kind of look like a dick, right? Yeah. It's just, there's nothing. This,
Florida,
like, maybe I could get
Florida
this.
State should have been in the 2023 playoff game. You're like Memento. You're getting that tattooed on your body to like wake up every day.
I gotta look, but I gotta be upside down,
Yeah.
backwards, so I can read it in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, how he did. Yeah, absolutely.